Are you understanding it? Righteousness is not earned. It's a gift. It is given to all and sundry who comes to Jesus. And it is not for you to keep or not to keep. It is God who gives it. But Tiwi and you won't use all your training to ball bravo passa. Was a cannibal news and Papa was can. Oh, or tell you what happened with you upon ten. That's how it is like. But when you know that you are the daughter of the president, when the daughter of president worry a JHS headmaster banner. Where is he going to meet? Where is she going to meet him? They will never meet. Because her father always takes her along to other top meetings, diplomat meetings. Oh, you will find them marrying their lives. I mean, the sons of their father's friends and mother's friends. This president's son is celebrating the birthday. Can you accompany me? They do go exchange of pleasantries. Oh, then they will talk to each other. Oh, Messiah. She will meet you. Are you getting it? When it happens, it's like, how will that happen? I'm wondering how that can happen. Because I'm a church boy, I met my wife in church. Because that is why I play. Are you getting it? That is why I play. I don't play at the bank. Maybe I'll marry a church girl who works at the bank. But there's no way I'll marry a bank girl who is not in the church. Where are we going to meet? No, we don't go to function together. So you're kind. So when you know who you are, that you are God's, you know that you are righteous. So you know that you are righteous, you are holy. So there are certain things you don't do. You see, righteousness is given to you for you to know how to walk. You don't walk in a certain way to attain righteousness. No, you can't. It is rather given to you. Like the way we confer ministerial ordination on you. So that you know that right now you are not the minister of God. So there are certain things you don't do. But you don't act in a certain way before we say we are ordained minister. No, we ordain you so that you can now act as such. Are you following me? So right. So everybody tell yourself, I am righteous.
I am righteous.
Nothing can take that away from you. Nothing. Unless you now one day you stand somewhere when your madness has come and you say that you don't believe in God again. Don't believe in Jesus again. But that thing, it never happened in the scriptures. What will even make you do that? Unless you have not been taught. But if you are here and you're always coming for new wine, I will teach you for you to know your Christian level. Let's look at the two covenants. When it came to sin, the focus of the two covenants on sin. We want to look at it. Romans 3, verse 19. We are all products of the covenant. But we are learning about the old covenant so that we can appreciate the new covenant. Now we know that what things soever the Lord saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. This was an argument Paul was making in Romans when he wrote the letter to the Roman church. It was some sort of writing a letter to address a dispute between the Jewish believers and then the Gentile believers. They are disputing who is, more righteous, who is a sinner, and then the law issues and blah blah blah. So Paul created a scenario like all of them are in a courtroom, and that statement that every mouth may be stopped is an expression used in the courtroom. Expression used in the courtroom, like when the judge speaks and the judge pronounces the party A, party B, that all of you, you're all guilty. This one is accusing this. This one is accusing this. So that now the judge comes and says that all of you are guilty. Then everybody is quiet. Nobody can talk again. That every mouth may be stopped. That was the law. And all the world may become guilty before God. So the law made all the world guilty before God. You were guilty before you were born. 20, verse 20. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin. For by the law is the knowledge of sin. So the reason for the law was to declare man guilty. So the law came to declare every man guilty. And this was to pave the way for a punishment to be meted out, clearly defined. That's why it made Christ's work straightforward. That's why earlier I said that I will come to this point. The law was made for Christ to come and what? Fulfill for an appointed time. So we find out that Christ will be brought under judgment with a law that states and punishes sin. For before the law, sin reigned, but it was not definite in its terms of reference and judgment. Let's see something in Romans 5:13. Paul was making another argument there. Romans 5:13. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. So sin existed, but no one was called a sinner because there was no law. But when the law came into existence, it started pointing to sin. It's like all of you are doing your things, sinning, doing things, and no law, nothing was pronounced. But when law came, then the law started pointing, you have sinned, you have sinned, you have sinned, you have sinned. So, for where there's no law, sin is not imputed. So, there is now a law for Jesus to fulfill for us. So this law which was made was not for us. We are taking ourselves back in time, like the people who lived in the time of the law. So when we go back in time, We are assuming their position so that you understand them better. So there's now a law which is not made for us. We are not thinking like the people of old. The people of old had no understanding. They didn't know what we know today. So in assumption, we are in a better position than them now to foresee that a law has been made. It is not for us to fulfill. It's for Jesus to come and what? Fulfill. So Jesus will come and fulfill the law and its requirements, and he will be punished for it. The punishment of the law is meant for us, but Jesus will come and take it on our behalf. Are you following? Yes. So Jesus will come and take it on our behalf. Hence, the blessing of such obedience and sufferings will be for those for whom he died. You are the one who has sinned. And when the law came, it pointed out your sin. But because you cannot fulfill the requirements of the law, Jesus now comes to fulfill the requirements of the law for you. The fulfilling of the requirement of the law in scripture is not Jesus coming to obey the things that are those things that are written therein. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do. No, those are not the things we are talking about when we speak of the fulfillment of the law. The fulfillment of the requirement of the law was the punishment. Because there was no way the people were going to do, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do this, and then they say that they are not righteous. No. The law came with the purpose. You can go to pronounce them guilty. Not to find out whether you are guilty or not. They were guilty, but nothing pronounced them guilty. So the Lord came to pronounce them what? Guilty. So they needed to be punished. And the punishment was what? Death. So Jesus' purpose of coming to earth was to come and fulfill the requirement of the law. The demands of the law. What did the law demand? It demanded what? Death. That's why we call it ministration of what? Death. That you must die. No matter what, you must die. So when the time gets closer, God instituted ceremonies and other things so that the giving of doves, the goats, the scapegoats and other things, and that's what even God did for Adam in the Garden of Eden by killing an animal and using the skin to clothe them. God shed blood. So the shedding of blood of bulls and goats was something that temporarily